afternoon. 8 minutes gone past the hour of 5. You're still listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatu, and it's time for us to switch the conversations for development and take it a notch higher. All right. I've got my guest in the studio. I will introduce him shortly, but first, I would like to reel out the conversation, tell you what it's about. So on Friday, we saw another press briefing. Today is about press briefings, where the members, leaders and members of, I can call it defunct now, right? Or let's just go with leaders and members of the Rivers PDP Presidential Campaign Council came out to say they are in support of the governor, not just the governor, but they are also in support of the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it calls for a very wonderful conversation because, I mean, I am trying to understand the dynamics of politics in River State and the trajectory we are traveling when we speak of politics in the state. And so I've invited a member, someone who was very much a part of that campaign council. He was the spokesperson at the time. Here in River State, he was also commissioner. He was commissioner. And he holds a wealth of knowledge when it comes to politics. And that's why we brought Lelonu Nwibubasa. He's a doctor, right? He's a doctor. And is here to help us understand some of the things. And he will also touch on this impeachment threat, because they were also talked about by the assembly. They were mentioned, when the assembly were giving a press briefing, and I would have him react to that. But welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Kalada, and thank you, our listeners.
All right, so can you please explain what the support is about? We saw Abiye Sekibo, in the front line that day. Some other notable people, Lee Meba also. We saw Senator Lee Meba there. And, there was the pledge for President Bola Tinubu and the pledge for Sim Fubara. Can you help Rivers people understand that move, please?
The press conference that held on Thursday 28th.
Oh, it was Thursday, okay.
Yeah, of last month, was actually organized by the former Rivers State Presidential Campaign Council members of the PDP, who, of course, by the circumstances that surrounded last election, were in a way not on the same page with the anti-party activities of the former governor. And so these elections have come and gone, and then the courts processes has come and gone, and then we have a governor who was voted in and has also been affirmed by the courts that his election followed all due process, and is the governor of the state. And so it was only something that called out the patriotism in us to support the sitting governor and give him all that the loyalty he needs to succeed in his effort to develop Rivers State. So that's exactly what happened. And then talking about pledging commitments to the president, if you read the press statement, you will see clearly that it was stated that they pledged commitment and support to the federal government.
The federal government.
Yes, under the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we are not pledging to his political ambitions, but we are pledging to the government of Nigeria.
So based on patriotism.
Yes, and that's what we said. And we said doing that, we expect him to also ensure the practical manifestation of his renewed hope agenda also in Rivers State. So
now with such a pledge, would you not be towing the path of Nyesom Wike in the sense that he has also argued in this light, where he said the reason why he has supported the president was and is because of his patriotism. He's a patriotic Nigerian.
No, that's that you can't come. These two scenarios are not the same. The support of the ex-governor, the present FCT minister, started with the campaigns, and it was actually political.
Okay.
Of course, he had to throw his own party overboard just to give support to the present President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it has nothing to do with patriotism. It had everything to do with politics. Here we are not talking about politics. We didn't cross political lines. We only said we are pledging support to government programs under the administration.
Okay, so how are you going to be? How is this support going to? How's it going to work? This pledge. How is it going to work? I'm trying to understand now.
No, if you said you pledge support to government programs, any initiative, good initiative of the federal government, of course, if it comes to your domain, won't you support it? If the federal government is saying, okay, oil production is at this lowest because of insecurity and pipeline vandalism, and you are in communities and you are able to help, these are all support. So it's not anything special. Like I said, it's not political at all. We are not working for APC, neither are we working for the ambition of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We only support the federal government under his leadership.
Now, before I go to what the lawmakers have said, let's get your reactions to the new threat of impeachment by the lawmakers. It was on Saturday. They held a presser, and they actually said it's the last resort, that the governor should follow the letters or the principles of the law. Given now that your group is supporting the governor, how are you reacting to that impeachment threat?
Well, first of all, when there is a threat, you first of all x-ray who is sending the threat.
Okay.
What is the locus of the person sending the threat?
Okay.
Is the person in the right position to send a threat? That's number one. The assembly members who are talking tough about keeping to the spirit of the constitution and following the rule of law, the first question they must ask themselves is, when you jumped ship and left the party that sponsored you to the parliament and moved over to another party, when there wasn't any division in your party as provided by the law, that's the only reason you can jump ship, what did they think they were doing? They never saw it as an affront against the law. So when they point one index finger against the governor for impeachment, they are pointing four of the others against themselves to be acting against the same law that they seem to be protecting. So that's one. So they don't have any right. First, they must understand that their defection is still is still before the courts under litigation.
I was going to say that, Doc. I was going to say the matter is before the court, so we can not say they are legitimate or illegitimate.
They are embattled.
We can go with that one.
Yes, they are embattled.
So now the issue of local standing does not necessarily come up.
So no, it has to be. When you look at issues, you must look at it in all the elements of it.
Okay.
Now coming back to the next. Now you are putting an impeachment threat to the governor. And you know what impeachment does? It truncates an administration. And when you truncate an administration, you are not truncating the administration of the governor himself, but you are truncating the programs and policies of government that is supposed to be servicing the people of the state.
True.
And now at the same time, you are saying that what you are doing is in the interest of the state. Now, where do they draw their interest from? I am thinking that legislators were elected by their constituents to represent them. I can say clearly that in the number of laws that has been amended by the present embattled members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, they have not conducted any proper public hearing as to hear what are the views of their constituents concerning the laws that they are amending. And then the same assembly can go on air and say that they are working in the interest of Rivers State. They should clearly know that Rivers people are not blind. People who are responding only to a paymaster seated in Abuja who dictates what they do, tells them what to do, when to sleep and when not to sleep, cannot at the same time arrogate to themselves that they are speaking on behalf of River State people and they are legislating on behalf of River State people, and that what they are doing is in the interest of River State. And because what they are doing is not in the interest of the Rivers people and not in the interest of their constituents who send them on assignment, every impeachment threat is null and void, because they must derive that powers from the people.
From the people, yeah?
From the people. And it is high time we begin to understand the rudiments of the democracy we seem to be practicing.
But I've spoken to several lawyers, and yes, they have agreed that the representatives, or they are representatives of the people, but when it comes to an impeachment, they don't necessarily need to derive powers from the people, because the people have already elected them into office to make decisions on their behalf. So yes, public hearings when they are making laws, but I don't think when they want to go about the impeachment process.
But that's exactly what I have said, that in recent times they have amended a lot of laws that are of public interest, and never did they call even for a public hearing. So this tells you that these people are on a parallel trajectory to truncate democratically elected governance in Rivers State in the interest of someone.
Now, some people have said that all of you groups now who are hastily or speedily supporting the governor, because now we're trying to focus on what's happening in Rivers State, that you are compounding the problem. They said that, the accusations, even the speaker, in that his press briefing made some. I will go to that, you react to that. But let's go with the general belief of some people that all of these groups, not just your group, the other groups were, I pledge loyalty, that these groups are the ones compounding the problem. Do you agree with that?
You see, it is laughable for people to be afraid of unity. And it's laughable when people talk about unity as it pleases them. I heard the former governor in a church program saying that he has both the APC and the PDP chairman all in the same program, and that unity is what is threatening the people. Today, every other group in Rivers State, across party lines and across interest lines, are saying, look, the government of Rivers State belongs to all of us. Yeah. Let's give support to the man that is in the saddle, His Excellency, the governor of Rivers State. And then it becomes something that stimulates the pain of others. So you can see that they've been thriving in disunity, but now when they see unity, they are afraid, because there is a united Rivers Front.
So let's understand support, because I think the last time you were here, I asked this question. I said, see, we're not holding elections next year. We're not holding elections in the next 2 years. Why all of this support? When we say support, can we define support?
Yes, support is clear. It's an English word. It is giving help. It is giving everything available to ensure the success of a particular cause. So when we talk about support, we are not talking about election. Election is not support. Election is a right for us to decide whether we change our support or not. But now a man is in saddle, and that man must be giving all the support. If today the governor comes to my community and wants to inaugurate a road, and the community says, look, we don't want you to inaugurate roads in our community, we are not supporting him. So we must support.
So support the policies of government.
We must support the policies of government. And now we have a troubled government in Rivers State, where a particular arm of government has been hijacked by an interest against the executive arm of government that is supposed to be delivering on programs and projects. It is only necessary that the people of the state must rise in support of the governor to end such illegality. And that's exactly what we are doing.
Okay. Now, I know before, a notable personality like Abiye Sekibo would have come out, to give such a press briefing. There must have been an agenda. So what's the agenda now? What's the move of this group, the former Presidential Campaign Council of the PDP? What kind of support? I know you've defined support, helping the government achieve its policies, but right now, what support are you giving the governor?
You've just asked the question. And
No.
The agenda is support.
I know. But
the agenda is support, and the kind of support we are giving to the governor is support.
I want a vivid description.
For
instance, if I'm supporting the government,
Yes.
With my career or whatever it is, I would say, I'm bringing conversations that will help the state grow. Right? You can argue. So I tell you, I talk about this, I talk about that. That could be my support. So can you paint a vivid picture as to that's not to say I'm supporting the government or any other person, by the way, but you get the point I'm trying to paint.
No, clearly. You see, when we talk about support and you are talking about painting a vivid picture of what kind of support.
So
every person, like you said, the people that were in that gathering, they are no small personalities in Rivers State. True. In terms of experience in governance.
True.
You kept mentioning the likes of Alabo Precious Abiye Sekibo, the former minister. That is a man that was secretary to government of Rivers State at the time.
Yeah, true.
He has been minister at the federal level. So you can tell of the wealth of experience he can bring to bear in the government of His Excellency.
Okay.
You talk about
Sir Celestino
Mayor. You talk about Senator Lee Maiba that has played politics at the national level. You talk about party politics, the father of party politics, Prince Uche Sekondo.
Yeah.
So these are men that are compendium of various experiences that can enrich this government.
We'll go for a quick commercial. I'm asking that question. Okay, when we'll come back.
April 1st has always been regarded as a
Hard facts.
All right, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. You're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Kalada Kurubatabu, and with me in the studio is Lelonu Nwibubasa. And we are talking, and very interesting conversation, I should say. We're talking about support for the governor, and this time the support is coming from the Rivers PDP Campaign Council 2023 general elections, and I've got a spokesperson for that campaign council in the studio. I just introduced him already, and before the break I asked him to really give me a vivid description of what support is. I know we've tried to define it, because in that press briefing, people like the former PDP national chairman, talked about Nyesom Wike, if I remember correctly. In that briefing, there was a talk about Nyesom Wike and the president putting him in order. And some people have, could this group be political? Could this group be trying to make some political calculations or political steps or move? Is that what this support is about? And that's why I asked for a vivid description. So you want to help me now, Lelonu?
Well, for any state to move forward, the government of that state will need political, economic, and social support.
Oh, I see.
And so support can come in every way. And beyond and besides the names that has been mentioned, every citizen of Rivers State, including you, Kalada, has something you can contribute to support the government of Rivers State.
Okay.
And the only way such support can come is for us to come together from our various semi-groups and become one united Rivers State people under one umbrella, pushing the same agenda. And of course, with that synergy, Rivers State will go far. It's high time that we must begin to reduce and lower the volume of these political bickerings and ensure that we focus on the development of our state. There is so much to develop in Rivers State. There is so much systems that are not in place in education, in health, and in several other ways. And so it's high time that we sit down and become a state that will be envied by our neighbors. And so that's what we expect from all well-meaning Rivers people, and not to throw tantrums on about impeachment and non-impeachment.
All right, let's go for the headline news. When I do come back, I have more questions for my guest. This time, I'll be asking him about the statement made by Martin Ameole, Speaker of the House of Assembly here at Rivers State. Stay tuned once again.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
The headline news: Lagos-based political analyst Liboros Oshoma calls on President Tinubu to intervene in Rivers' political crisis. Fund seekers defy economic hardship to celebrate Easter holiday. Chief Spokesperson Obidati campaign organization Yunusa Tanko exonerates Peter Obi from crisis in Labour Party. President Bola Tinubu to attend inauguration of President-elect of Senegal. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrike kills scores of people, destroy Iranian consulate building in Syria. Details in the 6 p.m. news bulletin. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. Conversations continue, to stay tuned.
This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, the only place where talk is not cheap. Welcome back to Hard Facts.
All right, welcome back once again. 29 minutes to the top of the hour. I am Kalada Kurubatibu, and with me in the studio, Lelonu Nwibubasa. Once again, welcome. Greetings to you. So let's quickly go to what Martin Ameole said, and I'm going to quote an excerpt from, of course, the statement, the press briefing statement. It says, the latest of the new groups recruited against the 10th Assembly is the former Rivers State PDP Presidential Campaign Council. In a press conference on the 26th of March 2024, signed by Dr. Abiye Sekibo, this group inferred that the House is an illegal and unconstitutional assembly. Others in the group are the likes of Right Honorable Austin Okpara, Senator Lee Meiba, and Prince Uche Secondus. Honorable Tamunos Sisi Gogo Jaja, Sir Celestine Omoye, amongst others, are among these desperate politicians who left their houses and gathered under a canopy with His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Ifeanyi Okowa's pictures on a banner behind them, professing their new support for Mr. President and the Rivers State Governor. On the other hand, they derided the 10th Assembly, who they are unhappy with, for joining the All Progressives Congress, which incidentally is the President's political party. Was still, they lied against and attacked the FCT minister who worked tirelessly for the victory of the President and the Governor in Rivers State. In other words, they are against those who defeated them and put them to shame by ensuring the victory of the President and governor in the state, but they now subscribe to the president and governor. What a weak strategy from a group who think they are smart. So the good people of Rivers State know who they truly are. Our constituents will not forget in a hurry how they fought against the candidature of the current governor and Mr. President during the elections. We are not surprised that they are no more saying all the unprintable things against the president and the governor, because this is who they are. They not want to advise the president and use unprintable words against the former governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, who God used to unite and transform Rivers State to enviable heights. Their new game plan is to blackmail Mr. President with oil production and OPEC quota. This is the end game for them. What a shame. So now let's get your reaction.
Well, you listening to that press briefing, it looks like market women talking, because it's so it's below what I would expect legislators to gather to put together, narrating. It's difficult to even to listen.
Is there any iota of truth?
There is. See, listen, we have a season of politics where people disagree on who to support and who not to support.
Okay.
And like we said, the announcement of the election and the declaration of the cause bring finality to every disagreement of the legitimacy of who sits on a seat. I didn't support Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria today.
Okay.
Does not mean that I walk through the road and I see the president and I say and give him a wave of hand. No, you don't do that. By every law, he is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So when people like this cannot delineate, demarcate, rightly divide between times and seasons and what is necessary at a time, you begin to discover that they lump issues together, and that's why they derail. So clearly, we cannot even join issues with the embattled members of the Rivers State House of Assembly when it comes to the caliber of people who sat that day to declare their full support and loyalty to the government and governor of Rivers State. They can't join issues with them. They are no political equals in any way. And like I said, people who are destined to cause chaos are always reactive to every wind of unity. So this new wind of unity has stimulated their pain and fear, because they have felt that Rivers State was a conquered territory, and that Rivers State was a state without elders and without leaders. And having seen the leaders coming together to work with the governor, that becomes their problem.
So this is not about appointments or gains or rewards like they have.
What reward or gain should these men who are accomplished in every area of their endeavors, what reward or gain? This is the time that these men are here to give back to the state that has given so much to them.
All right, so giving back.
So now,
if
it is for reward or gain, what was the reward or gain that they all had by supporting the ex-governor for 8 years without any dissenting voice? What was their reward or gain? But because they are no longer in support of the tangential ideas of their current paymaster, everyone who is against their paymaster becomes an enemy. And that's exactly what we said. Someone, a revered elder of the state said, look, I am not interested in you impeaching the governor. And then the ex-governor and minister will go on a stage and say, I built hospital and I named it after one man. I built a judicial institute and I named it after one woman. Because they've just told you, we can't walk this path that you are walking. It is a wrong path.
All right.
And so my pain is the embattled assembly members, because I expected them to be more smart and more intelligent than the way they have presented themselves. That they have a future and they have history to reckon with for Rivers State, and not to work with one man and derail their own future and destiny because of loyalty to the interests especially the wrong and greedy interest of one person.
Okay, so let's take some contributions. I do not know if it will be possible to take phone calls, but let's look at some messages that have poured in. We will start with Facebook. Remember, we're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH. It says the supporters, it's political, with political reasons. Adi Ogiokosis, he says. This one is from Wosu Courage Boba, says all these people supporting Sim now are the same people fighting Wiki because of Sim. I pity Sim because if anything happens to his administration, these people have nothing to lose because politicians are never to be trusted. Okay, let's read this one. It says, Canada, good afternoon. I think we passed that conversation. We passed it. All right, keep your messages coming in. 08179. Okay, that's the call number. Use the WhatsApp number 0809 0306 once again 0809 0306 All right, this message on Facebook says these elders do not even mean well for River State. They are the same people that criticized and voted against Sim Fubara. They are aligning themselves to Sim just to get political contracts and embezzle the money. Prince Uche Secondus, the former PDP national chairman, is from Andoni, and he is one of these elders that declared support for Sim Fubara. He is one that kept Andoni in darkness for years before we brought in our present council chairman who brought development into Andoni. These elders are not to be trusted or are not trustworthy, and they are going to lead Sim astray. Well, my time is up. So I'm just going to ask you, what's your final word? Going forward, what advice would you give to the governor? Because one would think, and I am one person who thinks that when people come out and say, "Oh, we're supporting the governor," their support will be pieces of advice that can help the governor bring about peace. Now, some have said, "Oh, the governor should go and have a dialogue with the House of Assembly that could bring peace to Rivers State, and in turn, governance to Rivers people." Do you agree with that? What kind of advice would you give to the governor if you had the opportunity?
Well, first of all, the governor should, in every way, take advantage of the unity of Rivers people behind his government. Meet with Rivers people in their homes and communities under the various social, cultural, and platforms of our communities, and see to continuing his projects and programs to ensure that our various communities benefit from this government, because he's the people that elected him. So that's one. Then on the issue of dialogue, the governor is in no position to call for dialogue, because these people, like we have said, we must clearly understand this. We are elected on the platform of the same party with the governor.
Okay.
And if they had any sense of decorum, they would confer with the governor or had series of discussion before waking up one morning and tell us that they are all now in APC. We gave our support to a party and not just to individuals. And so when you jump that ship, you have crossed the red line, and it's difficult to talk about a dialogue when there is a strong constitutional link to your action as to be defined whether it is right or wrong. So that is it. So the governor must face governance. He will look at Rivers people and deliver on his mandate and promises to them.
All right. So, finally, what should Rivers people expect from this group led by Dr. Abiye Sekibo?
There is no group.
Oh,
that is why if you see the press briefing, it says former means no longer in existence. Is it not clear? That's English language.
Yeah.
We are all PDP members, and we are all working for the success of the present administration.
All right. Thank you very much for coming in once again. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with you.
Thank you, Kalada. It's good to also always inform Rivers people and don't let people misinform them.
All right, then. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Lelonu Nwibubasa, for your time. We will continue the conversation after the news at 6. Remember, open season will come your way by that time. And you can call in and you can text in and tell me what your thoughts are. For now, do stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info.